So the chapter that was the most helpful for me this semester was chapter 9, and it talked about grouping, differentiation, and technology. And the reason why this chapter was extremely beneficial to me teaching 8th and ninth grade science was because it talked about, the various teaching strategies that we can incorporate to help those students better learn the material. One of the topics that or strategy that this chapter discussed was between class grouping and within class grouping. And this basically just emphasized how students have different learning styles. There's visual, auditory, and hands-on. And the good thing about being a science teacher is that I can have lab experiments which allow me to have hands-on type projects that kind of apply to all the various types of learning that the students have. So it's nice to have that affirmation that I can use these different types of learning to help my students grasp these concepts and these science concepts better. Another concept that was really that stood out to me was untracking. And untracking is discussed as basically a strategy that utilizes cooperative learning. And this basically says using project-based assignments to help students who may not take tests very well, who may not be the best writers. So it just gives students a chance to show that they know the material. And one thing that my school does in Hope, Arkansas that's really cool to me is that we do at the end of the semester, we're actually having the students do a project instead of doing a handwritten exam for their final. They have this project that spans over 2 to 3 weeks that allows each student to shine in whatever way that they are most comfortable in, and to kind of just show their talent and show their capacity to learn and show off what they know. So that's pretty cool and pretty interesting to learn, and it's really nice to see how I'm able to utilize these concepts that are in this chapter. Other things that were in this chapter that were helpful to me was when it talked about peer tutoring, which I do use because if there are students that don't understand something that we're discussing in class, I will have other students help and try to describe and explain the topic, and hopefully the students will understand if it's someone their age explaining it, whereas it's me, an adult, they don't feel like they can connect very well. Another thing that was discussed was teacher tutoring, which at my school it's mandatory to have at least 2 days of tutoring open after school. So and I found that to be very, very helpful for students who need the extra help. And then there's also reform programs that were discussed in this chapter, and of course technology. And it's really cool because at my school we are very, very technology forward. So the students actually have Chromebooks that are assigned to them, which are like mini laptops, and they do a lot of their assignments on their Chromebooks, which I think will help them in the future get ready for college whenever they do have to submit assignments online and that sort of nature. So yeah, this semester was really good. The book was really helpful. Thank you.